Hey, Jeep Gang, welcome back to Wire in there. So I finally got the torque tube headers on there, the banks, and the intake manifold. Uh, we're gonna do this air conditioner next, and I'm gonna get the steering pump on here. But I do want to give you a tip on these bolts for this thing. I couldn't torque any of the bottom ones down at all because you can't get to. All I could get to them really was an open iron wrench. It's bad. It's real bad. But anyway, these ones on the end here. Um, Go ahead and put those into your exhaust pipes. Leave all your top ones out, okay? But put all your bottom ones in. It's the easiest way I found to do it. I struggled with this for a bit, but only put these in, and it's the same bolts on the bottom. Some of your washers may be stuck, rusted, which is good, or they may be loose spinning. So put them all in across the bottom bolts, but pull your washer so it's back this way, okay? And only put the threads in like one full turn. And that's how I got this into place. And you actually could do it getting over the dowel pin. It helps you big time getting over the dowel pins because I couldn't get them bolts started with this. This is how I had to get these bolts in there. But when you lower it down, be ready against the gasket and just slide it down, and you'll hit the top of those dowel pins on the bottom here. And if you only had these bolts in one turn on the bottom, you'll actually have enough room to like twist the intake, and it'll snap over those dowel pins on the cylinder head. And actually, it's quite a bit of room. Actually, you could probably maybe even go 2 turns on this if they're falling out on you while you're trying to put them in. So I just want to give you a tip on that, how I got it in there, because I couldn't even get my fingers behind here to do anything. I had to crawl on the ground and reach way up to be able to get underneath all them pipes, and I can't get a good shot of it here, but it's impossible to get anything in there. I couldn't even get a ratchet wrench on it. It wasn't enough room for a ratchet wrench. I had to use open-end box wrench. All right, so just remember that part might give you some trouble. So I got my AC pump in place, and I would show you how I did it, but I don't want to take it off again. I don't know if this is better with the light off or on. Probably with it off. Getting too much shadow. Okay, anyway. Just like on the alternator, here I'll show you it though. Like on the alternator, because I'm not going to get a shot. How we had to do the bottom, this is part of the bracket. Well, it's the same thing on the bottom here. Where is it? The bottom bolt for the AC pump. This is part of the block, so there's a hole through the block that goes through, and then it screws back into itself on the back side. And then you're going to have this L bracket thing in the back here, which is a bolt. If you can see my finger moving there, there's a bolt that goes in the top of the AC pump, and then there's one that goes in to the engine block, and you got to get it from underneath with an extension on it. I'll show you how I'm doing it. But then you got one back here that holds this bracket on, which attaches to, it lines up with those holes there and attaches to the steering pump. And so I had to wrestle with it to get it in there. So that's why I didn't put it on video. It took me a little bit. But so what I'm going to do is start snugging up that bottom one. And that bottom one here, and then this one here, the foot pounds are, I got 20 foot pounds on these, but there's no way I'm going to get a wrench in there. Some of these I even have to use a box wrench. But I'm just going to go ahead and snug some of these up. Get them close anyway. I got them close already because it took me time to do it because I didn't have... Oh, you know what I want to do though? For your AC pump, get 2 bolts out of it. Those long ones that go through here. And just start them a bit. Because once you tighten that bolt, you won't be able to move this bracket. So I just want to make sure it's got good alignment. So that'll be good when it goes on the pump. Because if you change this thing, you have to remove this AC pump or the steering pump to be able to get to these bolts. I've changed that thing a year ago, and it was why it was, all this was not here. The front grill's still off of here. But anyway, those two bolts are 15 millimeter. This one here, this one here. Wrong way. And I don't have much room to turn in here. There's no way I'm getting a torque wrench in here. But I'm a pretty good judger of how much pressure you need for 20 foot-pounds. It's not a lot. So that one's tight. I'm able to get these out. Okay. Tighten this one. Whoops, slipped off. Alright, so that one going into the block, back here going into the block, it goes in sideways. That one's going to be a 9/16, so you're going to need a long extension, like so, to be able to get on that real good. And you got to snake it in there. It's not too bad. I guess I could get a torque wrench on this one. But I'm just holding that bracket, staying flat on top of the AC pump. But I'm going into the block first. And that one is different value. Let me get the number for you. 25 foot-pounds on this one. The one going into the block's 25 foot-pounds. Okay. And then there's one more to go still. The top one, if you can see it there, the one that goes into the top of the pump. I can't get anything on this thing because of the exhaust pipes, because of the crazy twist that those headers have. I can't get the box wrench on it because I don't have a flexible one. If you got a flexible one, it'll come in handy, putting everything, all this stuff together again. I wonder if I can get on just a little bit. Nope. Not enough turn in there. So just have to struggle with it. I mean, there's no getting a swivel and extensions on. There's no way. Not with this torque tube header set up. Even the stock ones, don't stick out as far. Yeah, I think they don't. But this one here is 20 pounds also, as the other two bolts for the pump. Now I can't get on it good for the final. Oh, that sucks. It's a real pain. If I just flip the wrench, maybe I can get one more bite on it. I had to take this out to be able to. Whoop! I just dropped it. One more little turn. Okay, that's going to be good. So you're pumping in there nice solid, your bracket's solid. And take these back out. We'll throw the AC pump on there. And that is the only 3 bolts that hold that pump on there, I believe. So I'm going to grab it. So that bracket is going to be on the outside face of this pump. Get to line up your hole in your pulley to be able to put the bolt through. Let's get her started a bit. Alright. You gotta go further next. I can't line up the next hole. So this might take a second. Alright, I'm going to have to find out what size that is and run it in. Should have had my cordless ratchet out for that. So those are going to be 13 millimeter for these bolts here. So let me get set up here. I wasn't ready for that. Okay, I just wanted to get it started a little bit so I can get the next bolt through. And get to the last third one. And I got the numbers written down on my whiteboard over there. The torque on that is 21 foot-pounds. We're getting there. I've been pretty happy with how this project's turning out, how it looks anyway. It looks awesome. I think it's going to run great, and I think it's going to have some extra power to this thing. Maybe a couple of days from now, I'm going to be starting it. Those bolts are got that fine thread, so it takes a few turns. I'm just bringing them all in even, like anything else you would do, you know, so everything's sitting square and nice. Oops. Shoot, can't, there it is. Those are nice and all tight. I'm not going to torque them down. I know they're good. But if you do want to do it, it's 21 foot-pounds on those 3 bolts there. So that's going to be it for this one. We're just getting everything mounted up for now. We'll come back. We'll do all wiring and stuff in a later video. Putting all the connections together and showing you how I'm resealing this AC line and that. I've done this a few times on this Jeep. So what I think I'm going to do next is, since everything's sealed up now, everything's closed up. I think what I'm going to do is take that distributor out again. And that's the style I've got on this one. I went and bought a new one. And I'll show you why I bought a new one. Because this one had a lot of wear on it, and I wasn't too confident in it. With everything is being new, but I want to get that out of there. Run the oil pump using a drill, and make sure all the oil is coming through all these galleys on these rocker arms and everything. So that's gonna be the next video. It's really coming together now. Looks kind of sweet. But yeah, so we're gonna end it with that one. Well, there. Until the next one, please like and subscribe. It's why you're in there. See you, Jeep Gang.